Well, we're here at the CCA workbench, Dave.
Yeah, and I lied. I ain't throwing it. I'm not going to throw the net. We're just going to talk about the net.
All right, so let's talk about the net.
I'll end up doing something stupid.
Yes.
You know, cast nets come in a wide variety of sizes and styles, and what you're going to look for is you're going to try to find one that matches the bait that you're going to be you're trying to catch. You know, they come from like 3-foot sizes all the way up to 14-foot sizes, and obviously if you're starting out, you don't want to grab a 14-footer because a 14-footer is kind of like a commercial net. And a 3-foot net is a little tiny net maybe you'd use for shrimp. A lot of times they're made out of linen or cotton.
Right.
You know, you'll buy them in a little, little podunk tackle store sometimes. They're been hanging in there for years. And a lot of guys will get that as their first net, and then they'll go to try to throw it on some mullet or something, and it just won't work because, it's made to sink real slow for shrimp or even little tiny baits when they're made out of cotton or any of those other things. Now all good nets are made out of monofilament. They used to be made out of nylon at one time, but nylon absorbed a lot of water and made them even heavier. And a cast net has to have some weight to it to work properly and to throw and to seal the fish up against the bottom when you throw it. And a good cast net will have about 1.5 pounds per foot. And if an 8-foot net's going to weigh about 15 pounds or so. And what you want to do is you want to try to find one that's going to match the mesh size, which is that size of your little holes here. That's a 1/4-inch mesh right there, and that mesh is going to be good for little tiny white baits, pilchards, stuff like that. A 3/8 inch is about a good all-around net. If you're you just want a net you can throw on just about anything, you want to use a 3/8 inch. What you're trying to do is you're trying to find the biggest hole that you can get that won't gill your baits. And when the fish sticks his head through there and gills himself, he's going to die. And you're trying to catch bait that's alive, and you want a live bait. A lot of times you'll throw and get a bunch of pilchards or freeze or whatever, and then you don't care. But if you're trying to keep your bait alive, you want to use a hole that will keep the baits from sticking their head through it and killing themselves. So you want to try to pick the mesh that'll make it sink the right rate for the bait you're chasing, and also the type weight you want.
So would it be safe to say for pilchards you want a 1/4-inch mesh or 3/8?
Yep.
What size? 8 to a 10-footer would probably be the right size, Dave?
Yeah, like if you're going to start out, throw it at 8-foot, and then maybe go up to a 10 or 11, 12-footer once you get the hang of it. Because a lot of guys they'll think that you have to be a big, strong dude, and they'll try to really throw the net. And a lot of guys think you have to throw it like a Frisbee, that the centrifugal force opens up the net. That's not true. It's the technique that you use to throw the net that opens it up right. And you don't have to throw it real hard. You just have to spin, on your axis and get it out. There's no way that I can sit here and tell you how to throw a net. And you can't read about it and do it. What you have to do is you have to go online and look at some videos. Or get some fella who knows how to do it and show you. I learned from the Calusa.com. They make cast nets, and they have some really good instructional videos. And I use their method. It's a very easy method. You can you fold the net in half a couple times, so most of the net is up high, which is good if you're going to be wading and throwing a net. When you're up to your waist in water, you have to have all the net above the water to throw it. And that's a good way to do it.
Well, I got to say, the one thing I really like about the Black Pearl is that their weights are a lot closer together. They have twice the amount of leads.
If your leads are more than 5 or 6 inches apart, that's no good, especially if you're fishing for pinfish or big mullet. That stuff that'll dig underneath the net. When it's on the bottom, a pinfish or a mullet, they'll try to root out from underneath of it. So you need your weights close together, and like I said, about 1.5 pounds per foot.
You did a good job. I appreciate all of that.
Yeah, and I didn't have to throw it.